Hello. So, oh my gosh, part 2 of yesterday's live, which was all on me being a complete failure. Not being, because I am not a failure. I am not my failures. And at the same time, maybe I am a failure because what I shared in the yesterday's video was failure is inevitable and it's a part of being successful. So if I am a success, then I guess I am a failure. But nonetheless, today I'm going to share with you the 3 things you must be doing to create your best life, to be successful in life, to move yourself forward, to overcome the failures, and to really take on, because failure is inevitable. In order to take on those failures, here's the 3 things you must be doing to move your life ahead. And here's the thing. It's interesting because I really want to do, I'm going to be doing a PhD in leadership soon. And I know part of our program is I don't know this, but I know that part of it, I think I know that part of it is creating like a study of some sort. And I really want to study like people and like the mindset. And part of what I'm like willing to argue is that people who are feeling stuck and unfulfilled are actually not failing. Like they're actually really safe and really comfortable. And so that's why they're unhappy. And the thing that's keeping them stuck in unfulfillment and like comfort is the fear of failing. And so it's like this crazy thing is like we don't want to fail so badly, but we want to be successful so badly. And you can't have them without the other. There is no fulfillment without failure. So I wanted to just recap yesterday's video to bring you up to speed and share the last piece of it that I didn't get to share because I had to rush off. And then I'll move into these 3 things pretty quickly because they're pretty simple and you might already be doing them. You might not be doing them, but you won't know till we get there. So let me just jump right in. So recap 101 from yesterday's live. Basically, I was sharing that I felt like a complete failure because I offered a Black Friday special for my signature program and nobody bought, which, by the way, I was in my feelings. I was being generous and I wanted to share my failure, but part of me, like, there was a part of my ego that was kind of like, well, middle finger to everybody who has ever been in my DMs and been in my emails and called me and said, I want to work with you and I need to do the project and I'm going to do the next one. And then I go and I give it to you guys when there's people who have paid $1,500 to $1,000 to do this program. And I say, here it is for $200. There was a part of my ego that was bruised and that was kind of like, well, forget you then. And I'm going to talk about it. But once I got into the live, it wasn't about that. It was literally about sharing my feeling like a failure. I did a Black Friday special. No one bought. Well, would you know that I actually had 3 people who signed up. I am in transition right now. I lost my assistant. And so technology is an area that I get stronger in. And so I missed that there was actually somebody signed up. All of that being said, that's not the point. The point was that when you fail, like I wanted you guys to just see the behind the scenes. Like you're going to see my highlight reels. You see me living my best life. You see me traveling. You see me having successful businesses. You see me not letting money dictate my life. You see me being fulfilled in my relationships. You see me being a hands-on parent. Like you're seeing the highlight reels of my life, but like I want to also be committed to showing you that behind the scenes it's not perfect. It's not all roses and rainbows, and that it freaking sucks a lot of the time. I once heard in a podcast that entrepreneurship is actually shitty most of the time. Like it's shitty more times than it is great, but it's so great on the good times that it's enough to keep you in the game. And I cannot argue that. Like It is so true. Like, there's more days that I'm in a funk, and me and my husband are both entrepreneurs, so we walk around our house like, you're in a funk too, and we get to hype each other up, and it actually helps that we have each other. This is why yesterday, if you watch my video, one of the things I shared you have to have is community. If you're in isolation, if you're not working with a mentor, if you're not working with sideline people who are hustling and also doing whatever it is you're wanting to do, whatever your best life looks like, whether that's having a business, whether that's being a present, hands-on parent, whether it's having a successful marriage, if you're not surrounded by people also doing it, you will be perishing. So anyways, like, entrepreneurship has its funks, and that's what I wanted to share with you guys, was like, here's the reality. Yes, I'm writing a book this year. Yes, the vision I have for my 2020, like, you're gonna see me in the media, you're gonna see all these big highlight reels, and guess what? It's coming off the back end of, number one, I'm fasting right now. So I shared that in my Instagram yesterday. Like, I've given up so much the last 100, we're on 100, day 108. So number one, like, it takes so much sacrifice and commitment. Like, you are not seeing the behind the scenes sacrifices that me and my family put up, and the things that I'm willing to give up, and the things I'm willing to endure, whether it's things like doing red eyes or so I can make it home and I'm not away as many days, or whether it's cooking a bunch of food or hiring a chef to cook for me. Like there's all these behind the scenes moments that are hard, but they're worth it, because what's more hard is living a life that you're not happy in and being unfulfilled. So that's kind of the recap from yesterday. I shared this complete failure moment. And so the part that I didn't get to share was the last two parts that like were the most exciting parts, which was on the end of this failure, which, like I said, there was actually people who signed up. So going back to like my middle finger moment, like how rude. And this is why leadership is such a huge component of your success, because the leader in me should have been like unattached, because this, and I teach this is part of what I teach in my program. Like, when you unattach yourself from outcomes, when you unattach yourself from expecting someone, like we have this whole vocabulary list in the program that we talk about words not to say. Should is one of them. When you think someone should do something, you are setting yourself up for attachment and disappointment. So like, I was being attached that people should have bought my program because I was doing them a favor, which is actually not generous, because I was attached to like, I'm going to do this at this cost so people should be happy and grateful. That is not being a good leader, and that is being very attached, and there's ego involved. And when your ego gets involved, when you get in the way, you block the blessings. So that was one of the breakthroughs that I had from this failure, was I had to check my intentions, and I had to say, I created this breakdown. Where did I could have been better? So many things came from that. Number one, I'm freaking done being last minute and spur of the moment. I have literally been running after my business, and I teach this. I know it, but it's different when you're in it yourself. And this is why, again, you need that mentor. I can help someone else be ahead of the game, plan their content, But then because I'm so busy doing that for everyone else, I'm not doing it for myself, which is why like I lost my assistant, because I had hired them to be my integrator, to be the person who puts stuff in action. But my point of sharing this with you is, from this breakdown, I realized you went and tried to sell something a day. Like, I literally thought of the Black Friday idea. My mentor has been telling us, think of Black Friday for months. We've been hearing this from her for months. But of course, procrastinate. And I'm now just like, oh, I'm going to just throw out this Black Friday deal and give them my Fox project for a couple $100. So like, there's lessons. So what I wanted you to hear was, whenever you break down, take responsibility. This is one of my 10 commandments to living your best life. When you start taking responsibility for your breakdowns that are in front of you, whether it's being late, don't blame it on the traffic. Blame it on, did you sit on the toilet for extra 5 minutes and scroll on Instagram? Were you not prepared? Could you have got your clothes out the night before? Take responsibility and your life will change. So when I took responsibility after I got out of my pity party and I took responsibility for how did I create this, it opened up my mind for the possibilities for growth and the opportunities for growth, because then I got to look at, well, you didn't prepare, you had no marketing for it, you just threw it on people. They weren't thinking about this. You should have like there was so many things. So the breakthrough was one thing I didn't get to share. And then the other two things quickly before I go into those three things I promise that you must be doing to move your life forward is comparison. So I have a friend, Tasha, I'm a client of hers. She's planning my retreat and I love her. I've had her on my vision board for 2 years. I said months, but literally 2 years. And she works for my favorite Instagram gal. So the Sheila Marie, she's my favorite person to watch and follow on social media. And that's how I learned of Tasha. And so I'm like, if I just hired the Tasha to plan my retreat, then I'm going to sell out my retreat. I'm going to do it big, da-da-da-da. The reason of me bringing that up is this whole time of doing my retreat and my programs and all these things, I'm watching Sheila and Tasha work together and I'm comparing myself. So I'm comparing myself to someone who has, I don't know how many followers she has on Instagram, but I want to say like 100,000, 300,000, something crazy. Okay, so I'm comparing like apples to oranges already. Plus, she's been doing this longer than me. And this is not to say either that you have to be doing followers and do this for a long time to have success. This is just to say I'm comparing myself to a different animal. So she has tons of followers. She's been doing this way longer. She has a team. She's getting married to a celebrity. Like, she's just at a different level than me. So while I am watching my retreat and I'm really trying to sell these 18 spots, which we just got we have 2 spots left. So literally we're getting there. But I thought those 18 were going to fly off the shelf because I'm watching Sheila literally post her retreat and 150 spots are gone like that. So I'm like 18, boom, mine are going to be gone like that too. It just doesn't work like that, and comparison will always kill you. So that was my other thing that I wanted to drive home from my failure was like when you think of your failures, ask yourself, what are you even comparing yourself to feel like a failure? Because if I actually looked at the fact that I failed from not selling a Black Friday, I was missing out. And so this is my third and last piece of this before I go into these 3 things is while you're comparing yourself, you're focusing on the lack and the gaps, and you're missing the gain, and you're missing the power, you're missing the vision, you're missing, because I was so focused on not selling the Fox project, it was damaging everything I was touching. I wasn't able to celebrate the fact that I have 14 ladies coming to this retreat and probably more that I get to pour into and spend 4 days with, working on their 2020 vision and goals. I get to we did the agenda today. We didn't even get to do the planning, which I'm getting feedback from the marketplace that you guys are we don't even know what you're selling with the retreat. So agenda details are coming. We worked on it today, but these 4 days, the stuff you guys are gonna get, the gifts you guys are gonna get, the content, the experiences, the exercises, the fun, everything that these ladies are getting. There's 14 freaking women to date who get to take advantage of this. I'm not celebrating 14 women while I'm sulking over nobody bought my Black Friday special, which, by the way, I threw out of my ass and just threw it out there because I was like, oh, this would be a great Black Friday deal that I could give because I'm focusing on the retreat. So let me just give people a discount on my program. There's so many levels to why I'm responsible for that breakdown, but I was throwing a pity party. And so my point of sharing it with you, not only to show you that it's not perfect, but was to show you what it takes to reverse engineer your failures. And number 1, run into failure. But number 2, when you fail, that's your opportunity. Those are the moments you get to grow. Because the growth that I've had this last week from failing for a week is substantial. And it's magnified because of that fast I mentioned. Like, I'm on a day 108 of God talking directly to me and me saying, oh God, I'm not eating french fries right now. You better talk to me. Talk to me real nice. Like, I talk to God like the homie. Like, so, like, do you think I'm passing up my best friend's birthday party, my other best friend's wedding? I'm not drinking. I'm not taking advantage of being in the wedding party and doing all the things. I'm going to dinner with friends and not having a cocktail. I'm driving through Chick-fil-A for my kids and not eating french fries. I'm not eating pizza. Like, God, like, I need to hear from you. Like, right here, right now. Like, let's do this. 2020, we're not playing around. 108 days. But I'm showing you, like, again, in my failure, I was boohoo crying that I failed, but that was the breakdown that God was allowing me to break through. You have to hear that. Like, do not fear, nor do not get locked in the breakdown, because the breakdown is actually where God takes you through the next level. And so the level that I have reached from this last week of what felt like torture and I was like so in my shit has actually been one of the most breakthrough moments for me and my team. And what's coming in the pipeline is even better and more polished because God broke me down. He humbled me. He reminded me, get out of your ego. Don't be attached. Like, you are doing this work for me. You are helping people's lives. You are helping women break out of mediocrity. You're helping women stop living paycheck to paycheck. You're helping women stop doing jobs they hate. You're helping women, like, step into their power. You're helping women see that they matter. You're helping the world be a better place. You're helping women who are going to also help men who are helping children. Like, that's what God reminded me when I got out of my shit, when I got out of my way. And so when you focus on comparing and you focus on your gaps, you miss the opportunity to see the vision, the impact, the moment that matters. The one person, well, it was two people signed up for my inner circle and one signed up for my program. So the 3 people who actually did sign up when I was too blind to see it, those 3 people matter. The 14 women who are going to the retreat. Yeah, I'm not at 18 like I thought I was. And I am saying it right here, right now. We're getting to 18. By December 13th, that is our goal, to close cart. But like 14 women, I'm focused on 4 ladies, a gap of 4 people who haven't signed up yet for the retreat. And yet there's 14 women. Like, this is what I'm trying to show you. You're missing so much life by focusing on your lack instead of focusing on what you have. And when you start focusing on what you have, like if you lack right now, your surroundings, your environment, your lifestyle is a reflection of your internal mindset. It's a reflection of your leadership. It's a reflection of your generosity. It's a reflection of how you talk to yourself, how you talk to the people around you. It's a reflection of how much you appreciate what you have. So if you're lacking right now, then guess what you get to do? You get to lean into what you have and nurture it, and it will grow. And so that being said, I hope that you hear this message. I hope that you see the failure and the breakdown is necessary. And so here's my 3 things that I want to remind you that if you're not already doing, you must be doing to live your best life. You must be doing these 3 things to move your life forward. And number 1 is you must be vulnerable. When you are afraid of failure, like, let me just tell you this. Literally, I've gotten DMs, emails, because people who are on my YouTube channel watched my live from yesterday, and I got messages there. I got DMs from my live here, and I got messages on Facebook here. Thank you for that message. Oh my God, I needed this. Like that wasn't a planned content moment. I was resisting to hit live because I didn't want to be honest that I didn't sell anything on Black Friday. Because what if I be honest about that? Will people want to come to my retreat? That is ego. That's me worrying about what people are going to think. Who cares if someone is like, oh, I'm not going to her retreat because she didn't sell anything on Black Friday. Like, that's not my person. And the crazy thing is the people who I'm worried about in my head who would judge me they are judging because they're not doing it. Because the people who are actually doing things would never be like, ooh, like you didn't sell anything on Black Friday, sorry for you. They would be like, oh my God, did you try this? Or maybe next time try that, because they're doing it too. So they failed before too. So they're gonna help me. So it's like the people we're worried about don't matter. And so when you can be vulnerable, you gain power. Like yesterday, by going live and sharing a moment in my life that I was like sulking and feeling like shit over, actually empowered me, because one, it no longer was over my head. It was no longer a story that I had in my mind that I'm inadequate to serve people because I couldn't sell something on Black Friday. It actually reminded me, you didn't sell it because you weren't practicing what you preach, and what you preach is actually golden. So you get to actually practice it right now, but keep teaching it, period. And so when you are vulnerable, you own your power. You actually get your power back. Number 2 is you get to embrace failure. So I've already said this. I'm not going to drill this home because this whole live was about that. But like when I say embrace failure, what I mean by that is what you resist persists. So the more you're like, oh my God, I don't want to do that because what if I fail? Oh my God, I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to be vulnerable because what if people judge me? Oh my God, I don't want to do that because what if da 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 da. If you resist it, it's going to persist. If you embrace it, it's going to be like, oh my, guess what happens the more you fail? You succeed more. So the more you hug failure, like I had this popcorn aha moment yesterday where I was like, oh my God, like not only is this a moment that I preach about all the time, like fail forward, fail fast. Like it sounds good on paper, it sounds good on Instagram posts, but when you're in the failure, it feels like shit. And when you're like before the failure, it's scary as hell. But like when you're in it, I was looking at it like, oh my God, this is the moment I've been fasting for. Oh my God, this is the moment that gives me the rites of passage to have everything my heart desires. So why am I so upset about this? I need to be celebrating it. And literally like that, I was like Jason was like literally like in the bed, like doing his eyes, like trying to stay awake. And I'm like, and oh my gosh, and I'm gonna, and I'm just like, I was like, I couldn't sleep last night. Mind you, like 10 hours before that, I was like a freaking train wreck, like sulking. What is my purpose? Like, am I even doing like anything in life? Like, I suck. Like, I was just like in my shit. But as soon as I shift my perspective and I embraced the failure and I said, hell yeah, failure, I want more of you, because the more I fail, the more I'm moving myself forward, and the more I'm impacting lives, and the more I'm getting out of like the cobwebs of unclarity, and the clearer I get, because I got so much clearer by failing. Embrace it. That's all I'm going to say. And the last one, the third one, is check into your heart and really like check your intentions. Like I had to check my intentions. I had to like look at what was my even intention for setting my Black Friday deal. And really my intention was like, oh, like I gotta do a Black Friday, so let me just throw something together and put it out there, because right now I'm focusing on the retreat, which if I would have taken the coaching that I know that is necessary, I would have already had my Black Friday dialed in and it wouldn't have been a thing. And so check your intentions and go back to the heart. Like when I got back to the heart of the matter today, when I had my call with Tasha for the retreat, and I was in the intention of serving these women who come to this retreat, I was lit up. Like, ooh, we get to do this, and ooh, they get to have that, and ooh, and ooh, and ooh, and it was like, it was all giving. It was all focused on like what, and then like her asking questions like, what do you want them to take away? Like, what is the breakthrough? And then us working on the survey questions and like the pre-retreat, because there's a whole segment, like as soon as we close cart, we get to start the pre-retreat content, and we get to dive in with these ladies and get them ready so that we're 10 steps ahead when they get there. And like, we're not wasting like time. And so it was like when I got into the creation of giving and being of service to my people, and got out of the ego and out of the like my pride being bruised and out of like it being about me and what people thought about me and what I accomplished, it's magical, and you really get to serve and you get to make an impact for people. And the impact that I've made just from my intention yesterday of going live with this conversation was I realized I was resisting it. And I shared with you guys yesterday, I literally moved into the hallway. I had a complete office by myself, but I was like, ooh, even if I close the door, my husband's staff is gonna, like his team members, they're gonna hear me talk about this, and I'm embarrassed to talk about that. Like, Jason's wife didn't sell anything on Black Friday. Like, literally, that was my thought process. I got my ass up and I walked in the hallway and I was like, I'm gonna share it with these people, but I'm not ready to share it with them. So like, even that, there was still a level I could have gone deeper with me just being vulnerable, right? Maybe I could have blessed one of them in the office. Maybe they would have been like in their heads like, damn, I needed that word. Like, I robbed them of getting the word that I gave you guys because my ego didn't want everyone to know. Like, look at that. So check your freaking intentions and just drop into your heart and ask, what is my intention? Who am I wanting to serve right now? What am I actually trying to accomplish? And then just go do that. And don't be caught and attached to the outcome, to who. Like, I did a call today with the gal Jess. Yay, I'm so excited you're coming to the retreat. But she got on the phone with me for the Fox Project. And she's coming to the retreat. But it was like, she didn't even want to get on the call with me. And I hope she doesn't mind me sharing this. But like, I'm not going to share the details, but she didn't even want to get on the phone with me because she was like, I was in my head of like, I don't know if this is for me. It might be a bunch of old, like, boring people at the retreat. That's my marketing. And I was like, oh girl, no, like, we've got NFL wives. We've got like one of them, she owns like a hair business. Jess has a jewelry business. One is starting a podcast. We've got women who have no idea what they want to do and are just getting started. But every person who's coming is to be a mom. I would say at least half of the ladies coming are not moms. Like, she thought she would have nothing in common with them because they're going to be all powerful women. And she like wasn't sure if like, what, like, am I there yet? Like, basically. And I've heard this from other people. They're like, I don't think I'm ready for the retreat. What? Like, the retreat is for you to get ready, so you don't have to get ready. Like there is no being ready. Being ready is right now. Like, life is right now. You don't even know if you have tomorrow. You don't know if you have the next time. So life is always right now. You're always ready. Like, literally, if you're authentic and vulnerable, you're always ready. So like, my point of sharing that, I don't even remember what I was getting at of why I brought that up, but she was just, now I forget what I was saying. But anyways, we got on the phone, we were going to talk about the Fox Project, and there was a point, I was sharing something about this, but oh, well, what I will say is I almost didn't get on the phone with her because she was interested in the Fox Project, and I was already just like, oh, this was my point, and I'm going to end on this. So I wasn't going to get on the phone with her because I was like, I'm not even doing the Fox Project right now. No one is in it. The one girl who signed up, I'm going to serve her. She's going to get like the business, and it is what it is. Like, I was like, no one wants the Fox Project. I'm cool. I have other work to do. And I almost didn't get on this call. But then when I saw who it was, and I know this girl, I love, like, and admire her. Like, we are in crossing. We haven't really got to know each other. I'm like, I would love to work with her. I'm going to help her. Like, who am I to turn down one person because my ego is hurt? So I had to rework myself into the conversation. So we get on the phone and I'm like, you know, I was just vulnerable and honest with her, and I told her I almost didn't get on the call, and she's like, oh my God, I almost didn't get on the call because I was like, I'm not ready. I don't know, like, if I'm the right fit for her, blah, 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 blah. And when I was honest with her by saying, like, I'm shifting my marketing for 2020, I'm only going to work with women who I want to work with, and the women that I'm shifting to is like, I want to work with people who I would go out to dinner with. Because if I'm saying yes to you and I'm going to pour into you and I'm going to mentor you, I'm saying no to time with my family. I'm paying a babysitter right now to be on live with you. If I'm going to do that, I want to work with people who are fun. I want to work with people who are driven. I want to work with people who are ready to do the work to level up their life. I want to work with people who, when we're celebrating your wins, we're like, let's just go on a trip to Mexico, or let's just go do our masterminding in Mexico or in Jamaica or in Palm Springs or whatever. Like that's what I've been missing, is like I've been just throwing stuff out into the world and not being intentional, like I teach, about who do I want to work with. I get to choose who I work with. So now I get to narrow in on that. And yes, I love working with women who are fun and who value like the way they look, because I love to be leveled up around people who are dressing cute, because it makes me want to dress cute. So there's no shame in that. But I didn't want to be honest about that because I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. It's not about that. Not everyone is into dressing cute, and that's okay. But guess what? A lot of people are into dressing cute because they don't know how to, or they can't afford to, or because they basically, those are some of the main reasons, or they don't have time to. So guarantee when I start being honest about that, then they'll start being honest of like, I want to dress cuter too, but I don't got no money, so help me make money. Or I don't have no time, so help me find more time. Or I just don't know how, so help me go get a stylist. Girl, I got you. But like, because I'm not being fully honest, I'm blocking the people that I want to work with. So when I was open with her about that, she was like, oh my God, I had no idea. And I'm like, girl, you're like the ideal person I would want to come to my retreat. Because I actually, in 2020, I was not planning on saying all this, but I'm just throwing up at the mouth now. So like, one of the areas I'm shifting in 2020, my ideal client is actually not a mom. If you're a mom, I still love you. I'm not saying I will not work with you. My content will forever be valuable to you. But the women that I actually who pay to work with me are going to be non-moms. And the reason for that is because what I realized was, number one, I love hanging out with women who are not moms. Why? Because I am a mom 24/7. So when I go hang out, I like to not talk about mom things. So if you're one of the moms who are like that, you're my people. But there's tons of moms who they don't want to be away from their kids. They don't want to talk about anything but their kids. And I'm just like, I love leaving my kids. I love being with my kids. And I'm okay with that. I have a tribe of people. There was a point in time where I couldn't be honest about that because I didn't want to hurt people's feelings. So anyways, that's one of the areas that I'm working in my marketing and my content and my visual branding and all of my things to attract the woman before she becomes a mom, so I could teach her how to set her life up so when she is a mom, if that's what she wants to do, she doesn't have to lose herself. She doesn't have to battle. She could learn how to work 20 hours a week and then be present with her family like I'm working on doing. She can structure her life to where when she's with her kids, she's with her kids, so that when she's not, she's not. That's what I'm doing. And so anyways, when I told her that, she was like, oh my God, thank you for being honest. And I'm like, oh my God, thank you for being honest back. And it was like this magical moment. And then she was like, oh my God, I thought I wanted to go to the retreat, but I wasn't sure. And now she's already signed up. But it was because I got honest, she got honest, and we found a match. So those are my 3 things for you. I'm closing out on that note, is embrace your failure. And the way to building your best life and overcoming your breakdowns is to be vulnerable and honest so that you can be in your power and you can just be vulnerable and honest. Because when you're vulnerable and honest, life is now, you're ready. You don't need to put on any capes or masks. Number 2, embrace failure. Love it. Embrace it. Ask yourself what you were supposed to learn from it. And number 3, check in with your heart and your intentions and your, like, what are you really trying to give right now? So I love you guys. Thank you so much for listening to me. I'm so excited for these breakdowns because the breakthrough that is coming of how I get to serve you and be more available to you, just from the simple fact of realizing how attached to my stuff. Like, I was that artist who's sensitive of their shit, and it was blocking me because I was like being a little bit chip on my shoulder, petty Patty. And so even that was a huge breakthrough, because now I get to just serve without the attachment to, is someone going to want to do business with me, or is someone going to want to come to my retreat after watching my live? Like, that wasn't my intention of this live, but it naturally came up. If you want to come to the retreat, come to the retreat. If you don't, I am so unattached. And so I get to just keep moving on with my life instead of being blocked, because one of the things that I teach in my program is wherever you're blocked and wherever you're harboring emotion, you're actually blocking money, blessings, all kinds of things. So the more you can release, the more you can invite in. So love you. Have a good day. Lex, my bestie's here. I was just talking about you to Jord. I love you. I pray I get to see you in Mexico. But thank you guys for tuning in, and I will talk to you next time. Gretchen, I see you dancing. Come to the retreat. I'm not attached to that, but I would love to have you. It would be so fun. Okay, bye.